Hello. Hi, Micheline. You're the first one on here today. Which, that reminds me. I'll be right back. I'm back. Say hi if you're coming on. Oh, Micheline, thank you. Hi, Diana. Good to see you guys. Hi, Mary, you're here early today. Well, you guys, thanks so much for hopping on, and thank you so much for saying hi. I really appreciate it. It's happy hour with Deborah Bucher Designs. Yes, Mary, this is your very favorite nightstand. I really wish it fit in your guest bedroom because I will still have an extra one of these when this one's done. If you guys don't know, this is the third set of this exact nightstand, and it's a really unusual nightstand. It has a pretty shape to it, and I would think it would be kind of rare, but this is the third set that I have come across. And if you guys watched my video that I took when I was up north at my daughter's cabin, this is done in her bare room, and I had one set at that time, and she asked me to do one in the navy blue for one bedroom, and then a custom color in the bare room so it would match the bedspread in there. Well, when she found out I had another set, then she asked me if I would do another nightstand to match the one that's already in there. And like I said, that was a custom color. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Mickey. So that's what I'm going to work on today. And I thought it was a good opportunity to talk to you guys about mixing colors because if it's Dixie Belle paint and it's a chalk paint, you can mix any combination of colors together to get a new color. If it's the silk paint, you can mix any of the silk paints together to get a new color, but you can't mix the two together. You can't mix silk with the chalk paint because they're just completely different paints. And the same with the Wise Owl, exactly the same thing. And so sometimes if you're trying to color match something, knowing how to mix comes in handy. And other people may do it other ways, but I'm going to teach you the way I do it. And so when I color matched this nightstand that I did already for her up there, I had her bedspread with me, so it was easy for me to come up with a color to match it. And it's just a good thing, you guys, because this is what I did. This was my recipe for mixing the paint to get the right color to match. And as I did it, I wrote it down on my little stir stick exactly what it was. And this was half a cup of muscaline and half a cup of barn red. And then I stirred it up, and this was the color I got, which did not match. So then I did half a cup of muscaline wine, a half a cup of barn red, and a quarter cup of peony. And this was closer, but it still didn't match. Hi, Jonathan. Thanks for joining us. And so then the winner was a 1/4 cup of peony and a 1/2 cup of barn red. So this was the winning combination, and this color matched perfectly to her bedspread. And thanks, Micheline. And the good news is that was like 2 years ago, or maybe a little longer. And I always held on to these sticks just in case I had to match anything in there again. And so now that that day has come, I'm really glad. A, I had saved them. B, I even knew where they were. That's a miracle. So today you can see, you can see that the color isn't too far off from what it is, but this is an exact match to her bedspread. So this is what we're going to do today. And so I'm going to show you how I go about mixing this. That'll be the first thing. And then we'll get started painting on this. I've already cleaned it really well with White Lightning and rinsed it really well. Thanks, Kathy. Sometimes I just shock myself. So I cleaned this really well with White Lightning inside and out, and then rinsed it really well with fresh, clean water. And I can't emphasize enough, you guys, how important it is to do your prep, because you can do the most gorgeous job of painting something, but that paint job will fail if you didn't do your prep work first. And, you know, chalk paint is famous for not having to sand and do a lot of stuff, prep work, but cleaning your piece well first and making sure that you rinse off that White Lightning is really important. So I just want to say that. And when I rinse it off, I have a bucket of fresh clean water and a fresh rag, but I use my spray bottle, my mister bottle, and I just mist all over so that, you know, when you got crevices and stuff, that you can get into all of that. So enough on the cleaning. The other thing I wanted to tell you guys is if you guys would like my Facebook page and share this live today, one person who shares the live today will win this sample jar of silk paint. And it's 4 ounces and 4 ounces. And the one color is White Cap, which is a really pretty white. It's not the whitest white, it's the next to the whitest white. And Bay Breeze, which is a really, really soft pale blue color. It's kind of hard to tell in here. But this is from the Silk line, and it's valued at $16 if you were to buy it off the shelf. Thanks, Kathy. And the silk paint is 3-in-1. This is, if you watched me paint the cabinets up at the cabin, this is what I was using up there, and I really love the silk paint. And I also did it on that black mid-century dresser. I used Anchor on that one. And 3-in-1 means it has the primer, it has the paint color, and it has the top coat all in one jar. And it paints on differently than the chalk paint. You don't use water when you're doing this, and you don't backstroke and smooth things out, and you cannot blend with this. But it's a great paint, and somebody's gonna get this free. I'll put it in the mail to you tomorrow. Thanks, Peggy. So let's get started so we don't run out of time. I have my measuring cups here, and I have my spatula, and you can see it's had some paint on it. And I have an empty jar to mix my paint in with a lid on it. And I'm going to put the camera down. So you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so going back to my paint sticks, I'm going to use 1/4 of peony. So here's the jar of peony. You can see it's pretty pinkish, so it's kind of a surprise that it's in this mixture. And I'm going to take my stir stick. This peony hasn't been opened in a while, so it definitely needs a good stir. probably could use a little water to it. These paints will last, you guys, even if you haven't used them in a year. They last really well. You need to keep them in the house. Don't ever store them in your garage. If you live in Arizona, the paint should not reach over 80 degrees, and in the wintertime, it shouldn't go under 60. So all of my paint is in the house. I look like a paint store. I am a paint store, so I guess it's okay that it looks like that. So I need 1/4, and I'm just going to measure it into my little measuring cup. Looks like that's all I about have left in this jar anyway. Let's see how that looks. So it's just about perfect. In fact, now that I scrape off my stick, it is perfect. And I'm gonna grab a paper towel here. Did you guys notice I'm not in my little craft room today? I just thought this project was gonna take up too much space. So I'm out here in the family room again. I should have gotten myself a dish of water here. Okay, so that's that, and then I'm going to open up the Barn Red. And I am going to get me a dish of water and some scissors. This is such a fun set of nightstands. The last set I did in my favorite palmetto green, and I used the wood grain tool on it and did a wood grain surface on the top of it. And that came out beautiful. Of course, palmetto is one of my favorite colors. And you guys, I'm going to start doing some furniture around my own house. It's not like I don't have a whole garage full of furniture, because I sure do. But there's some pieces in my own house that I would really like to get refinished. So I've got a lot of projects on my list. I'm going to paint my front door, and I'm waiting for it to cool off out there, about 15 more degrees. And I have like 6 or 8 steps that come up to my front porch, and from the sidewalk up to the front porch, and then onto the front porch, I want to do a mandolin stencil on that. And I have an outdoor rug on my front porch, and I kind of want that mandolin stencil peeking out from under that rug. So I think that would be really cool. So that's one thing that I want to do. I'm going to get my funnel too. Okay, so I'm going to just set my funnel in there, and then I need 1 cup 1/2 cup, and that's what this measurement is 1/2 cup of the Barn Red. I'm going to pour that in first. And then right where my tripod is sitting today is a really gorgeous Jacobean buffet. After I got divorced, that was one of the very first pieces of furniture I bought. And it was just paint. It was originally mahogany, and I know that it was originally mahogany because I saw the same exact piece at St. Michael's Hotel in downtown Prescott. It was like up on the 3rd floor when you stepped out of the elevator, and I was like, oh, and it was still in its original mahogany state, and I've always thought, oh, that is so pretty. But I'd like to, it needs some repair done to it, and I'd like to refinish it. So that's going to be an upcoming project. And then I told you guys about the mahogany dresser that I got at an auction. Like not too long after my divorce and moving out. So one thing about mixing paint, you guys, is it is a little messy. And so doing it right over my floor here without anything underneath there is kind of risky business. Okay, and I still have to get this in. I hope you guys can see this. I can't look over at the iPad at the moment to see what's happening. So the jar that I'm transferring this into was an 8-ounce jar, which is important to be sure you get a container that's going to contain all of the paint. And I'm putting 6 ounces of paint in here. Okay. And I want to get a stick to stir it all up. So another fun thing that's going on, you guys, that I am super, super, super excited about is I'm attending Roy Cycle Treasures, her retailer retreat this weekend. I leave on Thursday, and my bestie Melissa is coming with, and it'll be 3.5 days with other Roy Cycle retailers and creators, and some of those women I'm so excited to meet in person because I have admired them online for such a long time. And I should be coming back with all kinds of new tips and tricks. And it's a business retreat, so there'll be, our business coach will be there, and hopefully we'll get some tricks on how to grow our business and to stay afloat in this terrible economy that we all find ourselves in. Okay, so this is the color, and I just wiped off my stick, and I'm going to check it. And of course, the dry one is going to appear slightly different. And that looks too much peony to me. Hi, Suzanne. So I'm going to add a little bit more Barn Red to it. It might be because that peony was so concentrated. But that might be the reason. So I'm just gonna take my stir stick and do it again. The retreat is in Safford, Arizona, which I'm excited about. I have lived in Arizona since 1958, and I have never once been to Safford. And from my understanding, there's all kinds of wineries and things in the area there. And it's a very small town. I don't think it has more than 1,500, 2,000 people at the most. And I'm sure that Royce is the most famous person in town. Okay, this is looking better. Okay, so I know this one looks a little bit darker, but I think when it dries, it will darken up. And so I'm gonna go with this. I think they're close enough. And also, what I did to the previous one was, when it was all done, I used Best Dang wax in black and waxed the whole piece. And that deepens the color on there as well. I love using black wax. It works great with the palmetto. It works really great with dark colors, so that's what I'm gonna do. Again, I just want to be sure that all of you that came on later, that you get an opportunity. I'm giving away this 4-ounce and 4-ounce jar of silk paint. And if you will be sure and like or friend my Facebook page and share this, I will pick one winner from whoever shares it to receive this jar, these 2 jars, 4-ounce jars of paint. So there we go. Okay, so like I said, it's been cleaned. I'm going to move the camera up. It's been cleaned, and oh my goodness, this tripod is the hardest one to adjust. There we go. Congratulations on the new, I don't know, new what? There we go. I'm the new. I don't know. Okay, let's get going, you guys. It's funny, my kids, I was having lunch with them the other day, and one of them asked me what my favorite thing about painting was, and I said, probably the colors, that there's so many colors to choose. And my granddaughter said, nope, Grammy, that's not the favorite part. Your favorite part is the sound that the brush makes across your piece when you're painting. And I had to laugh because she's absolutely right. I do just love, hi Kathy, I do just love the sound of your paintbrush brushing over. You hear it? I love that sound. So we laughed, and I told her she's right. That is the best part, especially if you haven't painted in a while. And I've been doing a lot of arts and crafts lately and haven't done a piece of furniture in a while. And you don't get the same effect from doing arts and crafts, that's for sure. I love this color, you guys. This is beautiful. Now, if I was changing the knob on this, I would have removed that hardware, but I'm not changing it. I'll have to look in my picture. I don't know if I think I might have painted this black on the original. The picture that I posted on the event is the piece that's already up there at the cabin. We'll check and see if there's questions here in just a sec. Thanks, Peggy. Thanks, Judy. Mickey, I'm using a Dixie Belle Flat Small. This brush and the Dixie Belle Mini brush are the two brushes that they're my go-to. I have multiples of these. I use them all the time and they clean up well. This is the right size for getting into small areas. This is the right size for like doing the top and getting into larger areas. And I'm not lying, I've had these two brushes for over 4 years and look what great shape they're in. They keep their shape, they clean up well, they're handmade here in the United States. They're synthetic. They're not cheap brushes, but you know, if you spend money on a brush that's gonna last you a long, long time, it's worth whatever you've had to spend on it. So that's how I feel about it. Okay, so I'm gonna get up here on my stool and switch over. And I didn't have to use it. This paint is a really nice consistency after mixing it. But just in case I need to, because usually when you're painting with Dixie Belle Chalk Paint, you do use a mister bottle. And this is a mister bottle, not a spray bottle. And there's a difference. I use a spray bottle from Walmart to put my white lightning in and to clean with, but for a mister bottle, you just want a nice light mist. You don't want a stream of water spraying. But I am going to dampen this brush to start with. And I'm climbing up on my stool, you guys. Don't think I normally do this in a live. And there's that beautiful sound. And I typically just put about that much paint on the tip of my brush. I don't get my whole brush wet. And then just put it on in nice, smooth strokes. And it's going to take 2 coats for good coverage. Most colors are 2 coats. Sometimes the lighter colors, depending on what you're painting over, sometimes they will require a 3rd coat, but most projects you can get done in 2 coats. You guys, I am a retailer for Dixie Belle Chalk Paint and Wise Owl Chalk Paint. And they're both wonderful paint lines, and they play really well with each other. And one of the things I really love about Wise Owl is that they have some stunning colors that are like the in-between colors of what Dixie Belle has. And so between the two of them, I have, you know, probably 125, 150 color selection of paint. So it's rare to have to mix a color like we did today. It's really rare that I don't already have a color that works. But since this was a custom for an exact match on, got a little paint booger in there, a custom to match on that bedspread. You guys can go back on YouTube and watch the video of all the stuff we did up at the cabin. We put up log wallpaper. I painted a dresser using the black silk anchor paint, and painted the kitchen, all the kitchen cabinets, painted the bathroom floor. That was shocking for people to see that you could do that. So that's where this piece will be going up to in September. And the mid-century dresser that I did in the anchor, if you guys saw all the decoupage tissue I've created in the last 6 weeks or so, one of those papers was a black background with white bears and white paw prints on them. And that came about because after I painted that dresser, then my daughter said, "Oh, Mom, you should design some decoupage tissue for the drawers." And I thought, well, I can do that. And frankly, it's just takes, you know, it's an Airbnb. And so can you imagine being a guest there and you open up the drawer, that dresser, to unpack your clothes and find it lined with decoupage tissue? How fun that will be. And I don't know if any of you tried to order any of the Santa Christmas paper that I got in a while back, but I sold out of it really fast, and I just got restocked this week. So it is in the shop and available if you're interested. Let's see if there's any questions. Hey, Melissa. Thanks, Peggy. They're really fun to do. I just finished the designs for fall, Thanksgiving, and Halloween. I haven't posted them yet. They're really fun. Now, when it comes to Halloween, I'm not like a spooky occult kind of person that creeps me out. So my Halloween tissues are fun. And then the fall one just makes me want to make a pumpkin pie. So as soon as they arrive on my doorstep, I'll get them posted up there. It's crazy, I know, because, you know, it's still 100 and, I don't know, 12 or 15 where I live. So it's hard to be thinking about Christmas and fall projects and Halloween and stuff, but all the creators are busy working on that stuff now. So they need those products now. And I have a project that I'm going to share with you guys soon that is a Christmas project, and it will be an online group class that we can all do together. And it's using one of those Santas. That's what started me designing my own, because I wanted to do this project last year and I could never find the Santa. And then I figured out how to do it on my own. And then it was so fun once I figured it out, and it was so relaxing to just sit there at night and play, that it was like, oh, I can do this. I can design my own. So now anytime there's a design or a tissue, just like my daughter's saying for the drawers in that dresser, was like, yeah, I can do that. And so she had a pillow on the bed, one of many pillows, but it was a pillow that was a black background with a white bear on it. And I said, how about if I do something like that? Which was perfect for that room. So that's what I'm doing these days, is when I have a project that I want to do, if there isn't already a tissue out there, then I just sit down and start working on a design of my own. Kathy, no, you don't miss the silk paint. The silk paint, because it's all 3 products in one, you work with it different than you do with the chalk paint. And the difference is it has the primer, and it has the paint color, and it has the top coat all in one jar. And you don't use the water, is one difference. And then the other difference is when you're painting it on like this, I know you're just seeing the side, but you can see the brush strokes, or me brushing. See how I go back and forth with this to move the paint along and to level it out? With the silk paint, you would put the paint on your brush and just paint it on and be done with it. You don't go back and forth, back and forth. And the reason for that is the silk paint has that built-in top coat. So it's going to start drying immediately. And if you're fussing with your brush strokes on there, it's going to start to dry and set up on you, and then you're going to have brush lines. And of course you don't want that. And the paint is self-leveling, so even if you're seeing a brush line there, when it dries, it's going to self-level. So I always tell people, including myself, when I'm working with the silk paint, to put the Mr. bottle away so you don't accidentally pick it up and use it. Yeah, I really, really like the silk paint, you guys. I've used it on my own kitchen cabinets. So these cabinets that you see behind me, they were originally black lowers and white uppers with the black granite countertop. And they were that way when I bought this house and moved in. And I hated it. And had every intentions of repainting these cabinets sooner than I did. But then I heard that Dixie Belle was coming out with this silk paint, so I waited another year for them to come out with it, because that saved me a lot of time and a lot of money on paint to repaint these cabinets, because that's 3 products in one that I only had to do. In my case, I had to do 3 coats because these were black, and I was going from black to the whitest white. And I'm still not done. I still have more to do over here on this side. But it changed the whole look of my kitchen because now I really like my black granite countertops, which I didn't like them before. There was just too much black in here. And now that the cabinets are white on the top and the bottom, I really like that black. And having just recently done my daughter's whole kitchen, which I thought honestly would be a slam dunk because it's a really small kitchen in comparison to this kitchen. This kitchen has 24 cabinets in it, and I think hers had maybe 12. But it still took a long time. It felt like a long time because we didn't have a lot of time and we had a lot of projects. But it's all done and completely changed the look of that kitchen. It was super easy. I wish I could turn this around so you guys could see, and I'm sorry that I can't. Thanks, Judy. So do you guys have any other questions? I meant to bring out my light, and I thought, oh, there's enough light in here, but I know when I get this in the light, I'm gonna see places that are gonna need touch up. Now, normally I would be using spray water on this, but I haven't had to. I started off with a damp brush, and I haven't had to use much, probably because the jar that I opened with, the Barn Red, was a brand new fresh jar. The Peony was at least a year old. But the consistency of this paint today is really nice. YVW. Thanks, Kathy. I don't know what YVW means. Mickey, under normal circumstances, I would put a coat on, and if I'm painting here at home, I would just put a coat on, walk away, and let it dry. You know, when I'm doing lives, I just get out the hair dryer and dry between coats. And how long you let it dry depends on what your climate is, where you live. I live in Arizona, and it's a very, very, very dry climate. We have very low humidity compared to the rest of the planet. And so things do tend to dry quickly here. Thanks, Micheline. It looks really pretty in that room. And I hope you guys will go over to my YouTube channel and watch a little bit of those videos that I took while I was up there. That was in the end of June, beginning of July, because we were there for the 4th of July. We got a lot of fun projects done. We had a good time as a family. My niece got on a plane today. She was there all summer long, helping watch after my granddaughter while she was out of school. And she got on a plane and went home today. We're all sad that she's gone. We had such a good time with her. She helped me a lot on those projects up there. And she was my camera girl. So Abby, if you're watching, we miss you. Oh, Molly, you rescued a puppy dog? That makes me so happy to hear. You know, I lost my bogey boy. He died about 2.5 months ago. And I miss him so much every single day. Every single day. He's buried in my backyard, and I went out there this morning and talked to him. When you live alone, and I had had him for 15 years, when you live alone and you lose your pet like that, it's really heartbreaking. And I plan on getting another puppy dog, and I plan on getting it from a rescue. That's where my bogey boy came from. But we have lots more travel plans through the fall. And so I don't want to get an animal and then have to find somebody to watch after him. So I'm going to wait till I get home, but it's lonely. It's very lonely. So I'm glad, Molly, you were able to rescue it. I'm sorry he's given you a run for your money. Peggy, thank you so much for watching my YouTubes. I'm working really hard on building my YouTube channel. You never know what Facebook is going to do next, you know? And so I feel like we all need to be prepared for whatever they could do next, because they're making so many changes. It's hard sometimes just to do a post, like doing my event post today. I was doing it on my laptop, but it wouldn't let me change the photograph, the picture. So then I had to save it and go on my phone and upload the picture and save it there. And it's just ridiculous, all of the changes and stuff that Facebook makes, trying to keep up with it. And I can't say any of their changes are good changes, honestly. And so everybody feels like one of these days Facebook is going to start charging all of us to do our lives on here. So we better have an alternate medium ready to go for when that day comes and we have to switch off of Facebook and onto YouTube or TikTok or somewhere else. So I'm working hard at it, you guys. Yeah, Judy, it's still sad. Thanks, Molly. Yeah, Judy, Facebook is doing a lot of weird stuff. Makes it really hard for creators. Okay, so now that I'm down here in this, I was still using my 2-inch brush, and it worked fine, as you can see, but I'm going to just switch back over to my 1-inch brush, and I'm going to give it a little bit of moisture because it was just sitting here on the table drying out. Yeah, I think this color is super pretty. And if you guys tuned in late, look at, can you guys see? That's a really close match. Really, really close. By the time I get some black wax on there, I'm pretty sure it'll be perfect. And so if you guys missed out on the process of mixing paint colors, it was in the first 5 minutes of the video if you want to go back and watch it. Because I have a method. And I think it's a pretty good method because 2 years after I painted the first nightstand this custom color, then my daughter tells me she wants another one. So it was nice that I still had that color recipe written down and available so I could match it. And tomorrow I'll bring my light out here so I can see if I've got any big areas that I missed. But since it's the first coat, it doesn't really make a big deal. Let me make sure you guys are in camera. Oh, yep, you are. Hi, Gail. Thanks for joining us. Hi, Linda. So like I said, you guys, I'm going to Roy Cycle's retailer retreat this weekend. I'm super, super excited. We'll be doing art projects and business strategies. So, and it's retailers only. And so it's people that I have seen on Facebook or watched their lives or watched their YouTubes for years. And one of them is Carmen from Carmen's Curiosities. She's on Facebook. And I knew she was a retailer, but I didn't ever put two and two together that she was in my business group also. And we were doing a Zoom meeting one day and I looked at her and I thought, man, she looks familiar. And I looked at her name and I was like, holy cow. She's one of my favorites. I watch her all the time on YouTube. So she's flying in from Colorado into Phoenix, and then my friend Melissa, she's still on here. All three of us are driving to Safford together, so it should be a good time. And we're all rooming together and Lisa, you're never too late. You can always go back and watch the replay. And I did start on time today, and there was some good information up at the beginning. So you might want to check it out. One of those things is somebody who shares the video today will be, I'll have somebody do a random pick of whoever shares, and you get 2 4-ounce jars of silk paint. Which I think is a, let me look at it, $16 value. And then once you try it, you're gonna want more, I know. So you guys, I'm over my COVID. It took me longer. I wasn't terribly sick, but it sure took me longer to get over it and test clean than I expected. Oh, another thing, you guys. I'm going to close this up and just talk to you for a few minutes because we're getting close on time. Stick my brushes in the water. Okay, so quick little lesson. When we mix this paint together, and I said that it was pretty close. And this one is what I was going for, and this is what I got. And in the camera, it looks like a big difference, but when I'm looking at them here in my light, they look pretty spot on. I'm trying to move this way. There you go. And when it dries a little bit darker. This was my stir stick. It dries a little bit darker when it dries. And then I will be using black wax over it. So, okay, so I'm going to pull the camera up. Hi, Karen. This is your first time. Well, thanks for joining us. Let's see. There was some things I wanted to tell you, and I just thought of them and forgot them already. Okay. Share this video, and you'll be eligible to be drawn for this 2 4-ounce jars of silk paint. Micheline, I got these tables all 3 times. I have gotten these tables on Marketplace. The first time, I just thought they were such an unusual set of tables, and I was brand new to refinishing furniture because that was like 4 years ago, and I thought they were just really awesome looking tables. And there's a big black line going through here. Oh, it's because somebody sent me stars. Thank you, you guys. How nice. Judy, thank you so much. That's so sweet of you. Nobody's ever sent me stars before. So anyway, I found one set, and that was a set that I did up for the cabin, painted one in the navy blue and one this color. And then another set came up on Marketplace, and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I called that lady. I didn't call her. I sent her a message, and she said her garage sale was starting at like 7 o'clock the next morning, and first come, first serve. She wasn't holding anything. I said, okay, give me your address. I'll be there. So I was there at 6:30 in the morning. I was the first person there and got that second set of the same set of nightstands. And I thought that was a miracle. And then about 3 months ago, one of my girlfriends that lives close by, she sent me a text and said, guess what? There's another set of these nightstands for sale over in Sun City Grand if you're interested. So I messaged that lady, met her the next day, got the nightstands, but she was one of the nicest women. And we stood on her sidewalk in front of her house for 2 hours, just chit-chatting. And then she sent me home with a bag of grapefruit to make salty dogs, I think is what they're called, where you use grapefruit juice and vodka and you salt the rim of it. And it was like, oh my goodness, that was really fortunate. So this is the third set. So the second set I painted in palmetto green with black wax and did the wood finish top on it, so it looks like real wood. And sold that set, and then had this set. My daughter decided she wanted the second one for up there in the cabin that matches the first one. What? Oh, bless your heart. And so, you know, and if I see them come up again, I'll buy them again because they are a really, really great set. And they're really popular. They sell super fast every single time I get them. And I think I just think they're really awesome. I just like them, and there's so much you can do with them. So there's that. And then there was, I told you about the retreat. I told you about the new decoupage tissue that's coming. There was something else I wanted to be sure and tell you guys. Well, if I don't think of it before we hang up, I'll do a post on it. And those of you that have shared, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it. Judy, the wood look is not hard to do at all, and it's really, really fun to do because it changes everything. And I've done several lives on it. In fact, there's a really short, fast live up on YouTube when I painted the bathroom floor up at the cabin, because that's the same thing. The same technique on painting this to look like a wood top is the exact same thing that I did to paint the floor up there, that bathroom up at the cabin. And my son-in-law was just having a heart attack over me doing that, especially when he saw the coffee bean go on, and to him it looked black, and he just couldn't imagine what I had just done to the bathroom floor. And he's never doubted me. He's one of my biggest fans. I have the best son-in-law, but he was just freaked out over that floor. And then on 4th of July, they went into town for all of the festivities and stuff. And while they were all gone, I put the wood grain down on that floor and then sent him a picture, and he was just blown away. So it is a really, really fun technique, you guys. And that was a small bathroom downstairs. So it was fast and easy to do, but that video is up on YouTube, and it's a short video because I just put it up on time lapse, so it goes by really fast. But I'll get another piece here shortly and do that technique because I really like the combination of a dark wood top and a different color bottom on furniture. I just really like that combination a lot. And it doesn't matter what color you do the bottom. I just like the contrast of the dark on top. Just to me looks rich and expensive. So, well, I know there was something else I wanted to share with you guys, and I can't think what it is. So when I do, I'll either post it on this video or do another post for you guys. But thanks so much for following me, for being so loyal, for sharing, for participating. It means everything to me, you guys. I enjoy and look forward to seeing you guys every Tuesday. So you guys have a great evening, and if you have any questions, just let me know. You guys have a good night.